the slate for this weekend. Okay, so let's get right to it. Let's go with the first game of the schedule. Patriots at Miami Dolphins. Okay, I got both these games wrong last week, and that made me very sad. I was wrong about the Miami Dolphins being any good at all. That was a mistake. The Patriots, it surprised me. I thought the Steelers were going to be much better than them, and it turned out that they were much better than the Steelers. So, New England's favored by 19.5 points this game. I don't think that's wrong. I don't even think it's close to how many points. Don't take the Dolphins on the spread. Patriots going to win it outright, and they're obviously going to cover. Okay. Next game, Cowboys at Redskins. I got both these games right last week, which made me very happy. I do think Washington's a better team than I thought originally. In Dallas, they did impress me week 1. So this is my upset special. I really do like the Redskins here. And it's because that Dallas team is built around that run game and the fact that Redskins defensive line with Ioannidis, Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, and Ryan Kerrigan. That's their defensive line, and it's one of the best in the NFL. They're going to be able to stop this run game, hopefully. I don't think Dak's good enough to take advantage of this Redskins secondary that's the way Carson Wentz was. I do think the Redskins are going to win it close. They're going to cover, and they're going to win it outright. Dallas is favored by 5 points. I think, at the very least, Redskins are going to cover this game. Okay, Jacksonville Jaguars at Houston, Texas. Now, this is where people are overvaluing a Jacksonville defense, okay? Houston was able to lay off the Saints defense, who's, granted, not as good as the Jaguars defense, but it is still a pretty good defense. I don't think if the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the field constantly, they're going to be able to hold the Texans. Texans are supposed to win by 8.5. I'm not taking the Jaguars to cover. Texans are going to win outright, and they're good. Seahawks at Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, this one's an obvious one for me, okay? Steelers played terribly. Seahawks played terribly. That game should not have been close with the Bengals as it was. But I do think the Seahawks are a better team than the Steelers this year. I do think the Steelers are a good team, and the Seahawks are only favored by 4 points. That makes me question everything. The Steelers are definitely going to be able to cover in this game. At least I think so. They're favored by Seahawks are favored by 4 points. I do like the Steelers to cover and the Seahawks to win it outright. Maybe a field goal wins the game for the Seahawks. Now, the last game on the slate for me, is the Niners at the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, this was a tough one for me because I got the game with the Bengals right, and the Niners beat the Buccaneers, which it turns out the Buccaneers were a pretty good team. We watched that on Thursday. Jameis Winston didn't play as good as the Niners as he did against the Panthers, but that's a different story. I like the Bengals here, mostly just because they impressed me week 1. To be honest, watching those games in week 1, second most impressive team from the AFC North. Browns were disappointing, and the Steelers were disappointing. Ravens were amazing, and the Bengals were pretty amazing as well. I think maybe the Bengals can compete for a wild card spot this year. Who knows? This is a good Bengals team. I don't think the Niners are as good. If you asked me before the season, I would have picked the Niners as my wild card in the NFC. I'm not doing that anymore. I mean, I understand it's only week 1, and you shouldn't jump to conclusions, but I'm jumping to a conclusion. Cincinnati Bengals are going to beat the San Francisco 49ers. At the very least, you're going to cover that 1.5 point deficit. I don't know if they are going to cover it, to be honest. Never mind. Take that back. That's just a really hard deficit to cover. You're either going to win the game or lose the game. It's not really a cover at that point. Okay, that's the end of this week's episode, guys. Check back for the part 3 version of this, in which I go over the last 6 games with Pupper's pick of the week and my lock of the week, which is going to be controversial with her. Look at that face. It's a face of anger and frustration. Hey, everybody. See you next time. Bye.